Welcome back. Well, staying cold, but not as bitterly cold, at least right now. But we should still head for the low to mid 20s tonight and a wind chill returning by tomorrow morning. But as we move ahead, we're going to see slightly milder afternoon readings, and that is the good news. The bad news, still hard freezes at night, and maybe the good news, maybe a few snowflakes late tonight. We'll tell you exactly when coming up in just a bit. First off, though, let's take a look at what's causing this. We have a fast-moving upper-level low-pressure system that is eventually going to be the impetus for a pretty strong winter storm along the East Coast. That's moving on through the Arklatex right now and will make a beeline for the Eastern Gulf and then make the turn and head up the East Coast down the line. But not much moisture to work with this system. However, that could change over the next few hours. More on that in just a bit. As we look at the radar satellite composite, we put it in motion. First off, though, you'll notice winter storm warnings from Florida, northeastern Florida, all the way up through the Carolinas associated with snow that's expected in those spots. And then farther north and east, winter storm watches, but I might see some blizzard action up across portions of New England, especially across Massachusetts and Cape Cod. Meanwhile, we see plenty of white and blue on the radars, but the atmosphere is very, very dry. So this precipitation is occurring somewhere between about 5 and about 10,000 feet, but right at about 3,600 feet. Looking at the upper atmospheric profiles, it's very dry with dew points minus 22 Fahrenheit, but the models continue to suggest that maybe things might moisten up over the next few hours. We see some pretty good snow falling off north of Alexandria, but again, most of this, because of that dry layer, is evaporating before it reaches the ground, but there could be some renegade flakes flying around. Houston Intercontinental was reporting a little light snow last hour, showing a little light drizzle by Houston Hobby, and also some graupel showing up in the observation down by Galveston. So maybe some of this white shows up and reaches the ground. Now, our Doppler shows much the same. Now, mind you, the Doppler sweep is hitting the clouds at 3,000 or 4,000 feet here, so it's precipitating at that level, but it's still evaporating before it reaches the ground. So what we have to look for, something that's closer to the radar. We don't see a whole lot right now, but there is some precipitation falling, but most of this could be called virga. We talk about that in the summertime as well, when it's too dry for the precipitation to reach the ground, or when we're having rain in the wintertime for that matter. And then as we get down along the coast, we see some pretty good reflectivities, and I was kind of watching around the Forked Island area, showing some little nice reflectivities here. So if you are reporting snow, please tag me on Twitter or Facebook so we can verify that some of this is reaching the ground. But right now, maybe not, but maybe a little bit later on. Temperatures this morning, lower 20s, incredibly cold. We got up to 32 late this afternoon, and that's where we have been staying for the most part, thanks to the clouds locking in somewhat milder temperatures. But right now, we are at 48 hours at freezing or below, going back to New Year's Eve at 10 o'clock tonight, and we'll probably go another 12 hours before we see temperatures getting above freezing. I think it's going to happen between 10:30 and 11:30 tomorrow, so that means 61 hours freezing or below. Wind chill not too bad because the disturbance is not moving on through north at 12, but those winds will pick up again for tomorrow morning, so bundle on up. How does this stack up to the big Arctic outbreaks? The last recent one that was pretty memorable was back in 2010, of January of 2010, where we had 9 mornings in a row of freezing temperatures. This one will have 6 in a row of freezing temperatures. December '89, that was a big Arctic outbreak where we had readings 15, 9, 11 on consecutive nights, and a total of 77 hours straight below freezing, and portions of Vermilion Bay near the shore froze. Hopefully we won't see that this time around, but it's always interesting if you do see it. So here's predictive radar. It's painting a fair bit of light snow across the area. We look for the deeper blues. This is where there'll be maybe some significant snow, maybe around midnight tonight. Then most of it begins to advance offshore. I'd look for it around 1, 2 in the morning in Lafayette if we're going to see any at all. Most of it may manifest offshore, and then by 3 o'clock in the morning, things will quiet down and we'll clear out by tomorrow morning. Futurecast kind of offering the same. same. In fact, Futurecast is just promising the chance of snow once again, where we saw it earlier today out in the Gulf of Mexico. Maybe some clouds first thing in the morning, but they'll clear out. Notice those wind chills at 16 first thing in the morning, but finally at lunchtime we're above the freezing mark, but still a little bit of a wind chill. And then drive time nice and clear as well, and we'll see clear skies over the next several nights. So temperatures going a little bit below guidance. I think lower 20s if we clear out in time for daybreak. Otherwise, it'll be mid-20s, but lower 20s, upper teens to the north. Then tomorrow, finally above the freezing mark at 11 a.m., lower 40s tomorrow afternoon. Then another chill down for tomorrow night. We'll head down into the low to mid-20s. This is just a snapshot at 7:30, so the numbers will be lower for tomorrow night. And then as we head into Thursday afternoon, relatively balmy. We'll get into the mid, maybe the upper 40s. We'll see on that. Hard freeze again tonight. Few flurries possible, but not likely. We'll keep your chance of seeing precipitation no higher than 20%. The record for tomorrow morning is 19. I don't think we'll see that. Breeze out of the north-northwest will still give us some chills in the 10 to 15 degree range tomorrow morning. Tomorrow we'll call it mostly sunny and milder. 42 the high. That should be our low this time of year. So temperatures well below normal for sure. Another hard freeze tomorrow night, and more than likely another one Thursday night. But notice the trend for daytime highs. We get into the 50s after a freeze for both Friday and Saturday. Saturday morning's freeze will be a light one. And then maybe you can put the plants back outdoors unless you've already killed them off like we have at my house. Rain chances come back pretty nicely. Maybe an inch or two of rain Sunday night with the next front, but that next front doesn't look nearly as cold. But then again, this Arctic outbreak didn't look that cold until it was about 4 or 5 days away.